All right, what's going on, guys? Looking to go long here. Took a previous loss. Perfect. I'll take that. Stop loss below consequent encroachment of this wick. Targeting the low of our new day opening gap. Trading Asia. Bought this fair value gap. Took a loss. Turns out we wanted to reach for the sell side and consequent encroachment of the wick on the daily chart. So we take a look at that. Oh man, this is a little messy. I apologize. All right, so this wick on the daily chart, here's midpoint, trading down beautifully into that. And we've also cleared out this low, which is sell side liquidity. So if you notice, this candle opened higher, traded down. I'm buying that. Okay, that's a gap. That's an inefficiency. As soon as we gap higher like that and trade down into that current gap, you can buy that. Okay, you don't have to wait for this candle to close. Next one to open and trade down. Okay, that could be an entry as well. But if you see a gap higher like that and it trades down, you can use that as an entry, and you can see where I buy it there. Now this is live funds. This is my personal account. And how I like to trade my personal account, especially during Asia, is just get a quick $100, 150, $200, and just call it a day there. A lot of people ask me, are you with a prop firm? You know, what's your opinion on prop firms? Prop firms are fine. There's nothing wrong with them. But me personally, I just like the freedom that comes with trading a personal account. Same day withdrawals, same day deposits. There's no funny business about getting your payout and all this nonsense, you know, that comes with prop firms. So I always preach trading with personal funds, but nothing wrong with prop firms. Is obviously a good resource, a good vehicle to use if that's your only stream of income. But this is my live account, my personal live funds at TradeStation. I'm going to take a partial here. These highs are just a little too clean. Turn my executions back on. So again, I'm looking for a repricing to this current new day opening gap. Buying this fair value gap, took a L, re-entry, and I will take a partial above this level here. So label that partial. I'll take off one contract there, and I'll leave the last contract on for the low of our current new day opening gap. I just released a video covering how to trade Asia. Okay, this is a really easy model. Simply targeting initial buy side and current new day opening gap. And that's all we're doing here. So I'm going to let this run. And once we get above this fair value gap here, I feel comfortable moving my stop to break even. But until we do that, I'm leaving my stop where it's at, below consequent encroachment of this wick. So if you measure that, get midpoint, stop loss just below that. Give it a little bit of breathing room. Don't want to be too aggressive. So I want to see us get above this fair value gap and treat it as an inversion level, treat it as an inversion fair value gap, close above it, wick down, treat it as support, and then send us into the buy side up here where I would take a partial, and then I'll leave my last contract on, of course, for the new day opening gap. So I'm going to go ahead and label this. Okay, I'm not looking at this fair value gap to send us lower. I don't want to see it offer resistance. I want this fair value gap to be used as an inversion level, which means I wanted to see it act as support once we get above it. 2-minute fair value gap here. Treating that as a breakaway gap. I want to see majority of this fair value gap stay open. Okay, that signs a bullish order flow if we can manage to do that. So take consequent encroachment. I want us to stay above midpoint. Remove some of my risk there. Okay, we're trading into this fair value gap that, remember, I don't want to see offer resistance. I want us to get above it, treat it as support, and take us into the buy side, where I'll take a partial. I'm also going to annotate midpoint of this fair value gap, which is consequent encroachment. Again, I'm waiting for a close above this price level. Once we do that, I'll feel comfortable taking off my risk. Not sure if I'm going to speed this video up depending on how long this trade takes to pan out. I may just do a full walkthrough, no edit. But if it's longer than like 20-25 minutes, then I have to splice it up and try to condense it a little bit. But this is the reality of trading, right? Alright, so we formed a fair value gap here. Now I'm comfortable moving my stop to break even. We have this short-term consolidation, momentum, breakaway fair value gap. You want to see that stay open, or at least the lower half. So because we have this, now this is a good time to remove your risk. Not expecting this fair value gap to be traded to. Definitely not the lower half. So this is signs of bullish order flow. This is exactly what I like to look for. I'm confident moving my stop to break even and holding out for my first partial, which is these clean highs. See how we have like a triple top? There, 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 just way too smooth. All right. So I'm going to take out this inversion fair value gap. Just keep that in mind, but I want to draw your attention to this fair value gap here. Again, I want to see preferably the whole fair value gap stay open, but if we do trade down into it, I'm watching to see, do we leave the lower half unfilled? If we do that and we start to run away, that's signs of bullish order flow. That tells you that you're really on side, okay? And we'll do that right there. All right, so far everything's looking good. Don't stress over losses. Okay, this was a normal loss. I was looking for higher prices. After we swept the sell side underneath this low, NASDAQ wanted to take out this low and this low here, trading into consequent encroachment of that wick on the daily chart. So it's just a normal losing trades, no big deal. It's part of the business. All right, so this is the fair value gap that I'm watching now. I want to see that treated as an inversion level, meaning I want to see us close above it and treat it as support. All right. Now, if we close above it and fail to touch down back into it, treat it as support, then I won't take a partial here, and I'll leave both contracts on for the low, that new day opening gap. All right, so if we just completely run over the top of this fair value gap without touching it again, to me that signs a really bullish order flow, meaning we're likely to just blast through this high and trade with a lot of speed to the new day opening gap. So I'm watching to see how this candle closes and how we trade here. All right, so I'm watching, do we touch this fair value gap or do we just continue to run away? If we just run away, I won't take a partial, and I'm holding out for the new day opening gap. So I'm measuring order flow right here on this candle. I'll have my finger on the market sell button just in case. I'm watching to see, do we tap the high of that inversion fair value gap? It's better if we don't. That's bullish if we don't. All right, I'm going to trail my stop just below consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. Remember, we don't want to see that traded too. So let's just call it 18,922.75. It's about right there. All right, so trading down inside this fair value gap, touching the low of the inversion fair value gap, I'll take a partial here. Should we run above these clean highs? Beautiful entry. Pretty much a no drawdown entry. Textbook. So same thing we have here. How I was watching to see if we leave the lower half open. This fair value gap here, this BISI, I'm watching to see if we can leave that lower half open as well. So just measuring order flow throughout my trade. So I'm going to take off this inversion fair value gap just so I can illustrate that. Right there. I'm watching to see if we can stay above midpoint. Okay, I want to start seeing a lot of speed soon. I don't want to see us slowly rip through these highs. I want to see us completely just blast through it and have a lot of speed towards our new day opening gap. You don't want these traders up here, triple top. You don't want them to pull their orders. Okay, you don't want to slowly to meander and slowly work our way up there. You want to see fast, large, up close candles rip through this level that's way too clean, because my main focus is up here. If you remember that video I released on the Asian, I can't even talk, god dang, the Asian session, a little bit of a tongue twister. If you remember that video, if you watched it, the new day opening gap is a magnet for price action. So yes, this buy side is something that I'm watching, but my main focus is the difference between that closing price at 5 and opening price at 6 p.m. That's what I'm watching. All right. That's a good pyramid entry right there. Had I not already had 2 contracts in, I would have liked that buy, because I'm not expecting this fair value gap to get traded to. So that would have been a great area to pyramid, and then you'll be able to hold out for these highs up here. So I'll actually look to pyramid. If we can manage to trade to about consequent encroachment of this wick, I'll buy another. If it gives it to me, I might not get it. This entire wick here is a gap. It's even better if we don't trade to consequent encroachment. That's bullish. So I may not get that entry. If we trade down one more time into the wick in any portion, then I'll pyramid one more contract and go long there. Just a little bit more. A little bit more. Is it going to give it to me? I may not get it. But the idea of pyramiding here, buying here, you can feel safe buying this fair value gap. You can feel safe buying this wick because the logic is you don't want to see this fair value gap traded to. You've already locked in a little bit of profit. So great area to add on to your position, which if NASDAQ can drop down into that wick one more time, that would be perfect. All right, that little gap, if we drop down into that, same thing I got with this entry here, I'm buying that right there if we manage to drop into it. You can also use that as a breakaway gap. So it's an actual real gap. There's no wicks, no bodies. It's a real gap. Because we gapped up with a lot of momentum like that, I won't take a partial here. Reading order flow, that signs of bullishness. I'm doing a full pull 4-hour new day opening gap. Trailing my stop beneath this down close candle. That's a bullish order block. So the low on this candle is 34.75. So 34.50. Couldn't get my pyramid entry in this wick. Just missed it, but no big deal. Again, this is live funds, personal funds. Prop firms are cool, but there's nothing like making $200 and then being able to withdraw that the same day and have it in your bank account next morning. So it's just my preference, though. Gonna go ahead and take a partial above this high. And we'll adjust this. If it gives me time, hold on. There we go. Beautiful trade. Asia moves a little slow, but the precision is still there. It's beautiful. $100 just sounds, it just sounds a little better. If it can, I was just talking good about my broker. Technical difficulties, hold on. Come on, TradeStation. Don't be weird. There we go. So aiming for about constant encroachment of our current new day opening gap. I want to see this fair value gap stay open. And I paid myself right at the buy side, the clean highs, just to lock in a little bit of profit. I wish I was in 3 contracts. I couldn't get another opportunity to buy it here. It just ran off without me. It's no big deal. But second contract, I want to make $100 off of this. And then I'll probably withdraw like 50, 60 and use that for dinner tomorrow. Can't do that with a prop firm. Join the Discord if you're not in there, man. If you're not in the Discord, you're really missing out. Like, it's really the best trading Discord out there. And that's not just me saying that. People who are in there right now, we're lit. We're having a good time. Growing, getting better as traders. People are making money every day. And I pour into everybody in the Discord. So join the Discord if you're not in there already. I promise it's going to take your trading to the next level. You don't want to miss it. I absolutely promise you. There you go. Same thing every day. This is what we do. That's it. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We have a free tape reading stream tomorrow, Thursday, September 5th, 2024, 9:30. Tune in. Hope to see everybody there. We're going to walk down price like we always do and finish this week out strong. I'll be live trading for full access members in the Discord Friday after NFP hits, and we'll see what we get. But love y'all, man. Hopefully you learned something from this execution. Join the Discord if you're not in there already. Link is down below in the description. I'll give you a warm welcome, and I'll see you inside. All right? Peace.